Welcome to another free-to-play Steam game video, and this time it's a pinch of magic. So what is the overall plot here? The plot is we're the chick and we want to get laid. I'm just kidding, but rather we need to save our grandmother's fading cafe shop, magic shop. I'm a little bit confused. I think it's a coffee shop or something. But other than that, if you're new to this channel, please smash that subscribe button, like, comment, and watch my other videos. If you don't, well, thank you for clicking on this one and checking it out. Let's get started. This game, I believe we're the chick, right? Krista. I believe this was released. This game was released on April 2021. Oh damn! Oh wait, no, this is just pronouns. We could be a she or he. I'll go with a she right here. Yeah. Wait. Return. Wait, did I? Yeah, correct. I thought we were going back. No. Alright, sleepy boy, you gotta do what you gotta do. Ah! I let out a freeing yawn. Oh, it was a yawn? Okay. Oh, I can't do a woman's voice, you boys and girls. I let out a freeing yawn as I leaped down from the bus into the pavement below, bags in hand. Finally made it! Drinking the familiar surroundings, I take a moment to execute some quick squats. The brisk stretcherize is exactly what my compressed muscles ordered, all stiff from the several-hour-long bus ride from the city to the sea. I wonder if this is how Jack in the Boxes feel when they pop out. Newly energized, extend my arms to the tropical sun as if to pluck it from the sky and take it in a greedy lungful of delicious sea air. As always, the warm climate here on the coast feels as though it's welcoming me back home, back to the place where I belong. I've missed this, all of it, and ahead of me is a summer-long period of peace and respite. I just graduated high school, and from now on there'll be no parents, teachers, or peers reminding me with every breath that I'm wading to the end of my teenage years with no direction. Just the sun, the sea, and this place. My destination? The tranquil seaside town of Lynnsdale. Nestled in a quiet crescent-shaped cove on the coast and licked by the starry deep blue waves of the East Sea. Some people have taken to affectionately nicknaming it Moon Bay. A pretty occultic name, all things considered. But it always seemed perfectly apt. Because it's also the town my grandmother, my Baba, calls home. And she just so happens to be an exceptional and absolutely eccentric witch. All these years later, I still wouldn't put it past her to have coined Moon Bay herself, just because it might help drum up business among the magic folk. For the first time in 3 years, she'd asked me to visit this summer. And I can't wait to resume my magic training. My fingers electrified, are already tingling the prospect. I reach into the pocket of my hoodie, feeling for the letter she'd sent, making sure it's still there. Cursive on vellum and wax seal. Yep, nobody except that wily old man would write like this anymore. Old woman, sorry about that. There's no time like the present. Unable to hide my eagerness to see her again, I hoist my bags up to my shoulders and take off as I sprint up the staircase, leaving the bus stop far behind. And once I leap across the threshold of the stairway's end, I see the sight I've longed for and open my lungs wide. Hello! Coffee curiosities! I'm home! My grandmother's cafe stands before me, a static monument among the other buildings, utterly unchanged, like a moment in time, perfectly preserved the way I always remembered it. It reminds me of my childhood, of iced tea in summer, sea salt ice cream, and freer days spent under Baba's tutelage. That, in itself, is a rare kind of magic that leaves me spellbound. Naturally, my peppy cry draws the attention of several passerbys outside the store, many of whom recognize me and wave in greeting. Well, I'll be if it isn't Krista. Been a spell since you've been back. Still kept that strange habit of greeting the fae like it's a person I see. Well, she's not wrong. I guess I'm a little too old to be shouting in public. But as Baba used to say, a witch breathes magic and life into all things. Every word is a charm, every sentence a spell. Now that I think about it, it's totally possible she was just hoodwinking an extremely gullible 5-year-old, but, well, it's a good tradition, so who cares? I wave energetically back. Hey there, it's good to see you again. Do you know if my grandmother is about? That question seems to give her pause and she forces a smile which can only be read as guilty embarrassment. Oh, you mean she? Well, I'm not too sure. Haven't been in for a coffee for a while, you see. Anyway, nice seeing you, kid. Before I have a chance to respond, she scuttles off over the hill, leaving me stranded in confusion at the shop door. What in the hemlock was all that about? Glancing over the cafe again, my eyes narrow suspiciously and roam up and down the building. I finally notice one extremely telling clue. It's the height of morning and yet the curtains are shut tight. Fishier still is how quiet it is. Wait, don't tell me. I practically kicked the door down my provoked stake, and once inside, all of my suspicions are confirmed. Not only are the lights all switched off, not only are there no customers, not only has the door clearly been left unlocked with complete disregard to nasty draughts, thieves, or trespassers, but on top of that, Baba is nowhere to be found. The lingering mingled fragrance of sweet teas and bitter coffees temporarily catches me off guard, filling my nose and mind with happy memories, but I quickly remember why I'm here. I stomp across the cafe floor in big strides, making a beeline for the door at the far end of the room. A door hidden behind a heavy satin curtain and satin curtain and is bewitched to be invisible to all non-magic customers. Baba! Baba! I stop dead in my tracks in the secret room. Piled floor to ceiling with mystical objects is Baba's crystal ball table. A table radiating with memories of afternoons sitting in her lap, poring over dusty stones, and having the wonders of magic whispered in my ear. And now on that table, clearly awaiting my arrival, is a small paper ornament, an enchanted letter folded into the shape of a miniature rabbit. When I enter the room, it turns up its ears and bounds up from its slumber, hopping to the table's edge to greet me. I would recognize this magic anywhere. Baba would while away hours folding these critters for me as I studied until she had gifted me the entire animal kingdom out of paper. It never failed to put a smile on my face. But she can only mean she's buttering me up for some unsavory news. I skeptically scoop up the paper rabbit in my hand, and the touch of my finger upon its nose, it unravels itself. Sure enough, my grandmother has inked a note in cursive inside. My dearest Krista, I have run away. Since I was the one who invited you to stay with me this summer, I'll venture that this will come as a shock to you. It wasn't part of my plan, but running the cafe was beginning to feel rather droll. Then I remember it's mugwort season, and also that the witch folk are hosting a mushroom digging festival in the mountains, much less droll by far. Do not come searching for me. Write to me though if you want me to bring you back some mugwort. Otherwise, I shall bring you nothing. Take care of the place while I'm gone. P.S. I hope you have money. The pantry is empty. I knew it! That wayward old witch! Slumping into one of the table's squishy cushions, I throw my arms up in defeat. I absolutely should have expected this, flying through life by the seat of her pants, living by her every whim, dropping things when they no longer suit her. This entire situation reaches into the far recesses of my mind, conjuring up echoes of countless other past examples of how mercurial Baba could be. Closing up at noon to go skinny dipping in the ocean, hosting a luau party, then passing out after an hour on her own deadly magic punch. Her crimes of capriciousness knew few bounds. She may have taught me everything I know of magic, but early on I had to master brewing tea and coffee, not just potions, just to keep this place running smoothly. It suddenly draws on me exactly why that passerby had acted so suspiciously. I bet she cut and run days ago and told everyone in town not to breathe a word. Yup, sounds about right. No matter how you cut it, she's running from her responsibilities again. I seriously have no clue how she managed to keep this place running all these years. My lips pressed themselves into a thin, stubborn line. Mugwort tea is my favorite though. I guess it's time to go shopping. An hour or so later, amid the begrudging progress in the cafe's sore state. With the door now locked and the curtains still tightly drawn, I make use of the privacy by enchanting Baba's dustpan and broom and setting them to work on the floor. They whiz about the room in a waltz, making quick work of any dust or grime in their path. After a brief inspection, all that remains in the fridge is a curdy bottle of milk. The pantry cupboards had also been harboring nothing but dust, but were saved earlier by a trip to the local supermarket. Rest in peace, poor wallet. Luckily, it also seems the cafe's more expensive wares are in plentiful stock. The exotic plethora of tea leaves and unground coffee beans have been safely stored in bags or dry containers. The siphons, mills, and other apparatus too are in good working order. Knowing Baba's devil-may-care attitude, the situation here could have been far worse. I should count my blessings she didn't let any rats inside those sacks. That moment, as if my words had personally offended her efforts, Baba's cat slinks into the room and up into the counter to glare at me. There you are, Hannibal, a witch is familiar reduced to a rat catcher. How the mighty fall in the wrong hands. But since you didn't have anything better to do, if you see any about, you be sure to let me know. When I reach across the counter to scritch beneath her neck, she forgets her grumpiness in a heartbeat and pads off to the bedroom for an afternoon nap. With the dustpan and broom soon done with their work, I thank them for the service and quickly finish putting the cupboards in order. After a satisfying stretch, I pull back the curtains to survey the place triumphantly. Watch out, Lynnsdale, we're back in business. Standing there with hands on hips, it's a funny feeling that courses through my chest. A kind of liberation and pride that comes with being free to wantonly spellcast for the first time in a painfully long while. I miss it even more. I missed it even more than I thought I would. Not too rusty, though, thankfully. Now then, the last port of call is to flip that sign, and after that, well, I guess it's time to brew some criminally delicious coffee. But as soon as I step outside, I pause. My senses are once more splashed by the salty air, the sun's warmth, and the far-off songs of a soaring flock of seagulls. And in my line of sight, the sea itself, a shimmering crystal blue expanse calling me back to its edge. Well, I've worked pretty hard, if I do say so myself. Just a little stretch of the legs beforehand couldn't hurt. And so, with slow, mindering strides, I cross the pavement and pace down the small stone staircase heading for the beachfront. I take my time enjoying the afternoon breeze and the journey all the way to the boardwalk and beyond. When I reach the beach, I the side of my shoes and press on, free and barefoot in the sand. It softly envelops my feet as I walk, like a floor made of satin. Is it satine? Satine. There's no edo, so Satan? Satin. Satin? I don't even know, man. The waves, too, are like rolls of crystalline satine sheets being unraveled into the shore, rolling over rocks, shells, and themselves gently slipping back to their source. As ever, Moonbay, you're almost too perfect for words. I plop myself down in the sand, stretching out my legs and searching along the water's surface for something. I wonder if she's still out there. But before I can continue that thought, the phone in my back pocket hums, and when I retrieve it, I see several texts incoming from my parents. Their messages cascade simultaneously into the group chat, making it plainly obvious they're both sitting beside each other, typing with a joint agenda. Did you arrive safely? You forgot to text us. We were worried. How is Baba? Is she doing well? How is her back? And there it is. I sigh, typing back my regular response whenever they awkwardly attempt to bring her up. If you're that worried, you could always, try talking to herself, Dad. I'm sure she'd like to hear from you. From both of you. After a brief exchange ending in I love yous all around, I fling my phone to the side and fall back into the sandbed. The history between my parents and Baba was fractured, to say the least. In this world where so few people are gifted with the ability to wield magic, we hide what we are for an easier life. Hundreds of years ago, those without the gift feared us, persecuted us, and worse, the world was messy. The witch folk decided almost unanimously that it was better to fade into anonymity than cause trouble. Nowadays, as far as the rest of normal society is concerned, it's known that we exist out there somewhere. But rarely do you see a witch shouting it from the rooftops. Despite the good I know we do, there's no glory in it at all. So for my parents and Baba, well, Baba had always been an immensely talented witch. The first time I was sent there to stay with her for the summer, I was 3. She showed me a few simple spells, and even though I could barely speak, I guess I was a natural. I still remember her sweeping me up when I successfully levitated a paperclip. She was so giddy, it was responsible for her to contain herself. But my parents were different. They never taught me magic, never encouraged me to learn it. All they wished for me was an utterly normal life. They asked Baba to stop teaching me, and that was that. Or so they thought. When they found out I'd flown in the face of their disapproval and had secretly been studying hard under Baba every summer for 10 years. Oh boy. I remember that day, Dad's face went a shade of blue. I didn't think it was possible outside of being hexed. After that, their relationship became strained. They stopped talking. I became their mediator, their owl, ferrying messages back and forth. I stopped visiting Lynnsdale for a while to give them all time to cool off. A normal life, a boring life devoid of magic. I feel empty just at the thought of it, but honestly, I don't really have the first clue about what I want to do in the future. Same, Krista, same. If only witch folk didn't have to hide who we are. As I raised myself back up to hug my knees, I realized that I'd been absent-mindedly dragging a finger through the sand all this time. I've drawn nothing remotely artistic, of course. There's a bunch of badly drawn swirls that barely resemble shapes at all. These are almost as terrible as Kia's spark ignites a recollection in my mind, a spark which sends me flying back to before I've been interrupted by my parents' messages, back to thoughts of a friend from long ago. My eyes meet the sea again. Kia's home, my childhood friend who had been as much part of my summers in Lynnsdale as my grandmother. She was an extraordinary person in her own right, a mermaid who befriended a witch. Shy and a little fumbling in the beginning, she barely grasped human language. Kia was just about the only sound she could make. We'd communicate by drawing shapes in the sand, and thought hers were terrible. I got pretty good at deciphering them. I can still clearly remember our first meeting here on the shore. I was 5. Mom and Dad had just asked Baba to stop teaching me magic, and I was wading into the ocean at the top of my lungs. And it was only my tears had dried up that I noticed a curious baby mermaid who had snuck away from home to investigate the surface, was peering at me through the waves. As I reminisce, a smile spreads across my face. Kia, that's right. I wonder if she and her family even still swim in these waters. I'm sure she does. With renewed purpose, I leap up and dust myself off. I thread up and down the beach, scanning the waves for any sign of movement. But unsurprisingly, I don't find a trace of her anywhere. There isn't a fin in sight. Well, that'll teach me for being willfully optimistic, as if mermaids would have ever ventured this close to shore, they'd be found out in a heartbeat. Still, I haven't exhausted all the tricks up my sleeve just yet. Determined, I set off up and down the beach once again, this time with my eyes to the sand, scurrying the golden floor for a very particular object. And finally, wedged between some barnacle rocks, I found exactly what I'm looking for, a prismatic conch, shimmering and weighted to the touch, and more importantly in the hands of a witch, is a horn that when blown can sing a song only a mermaid could hear. It was an ancient spell Baba had taught me as a child, used by the old witches in times of strife to call mermaids to their aid, and together Kia and I had repurposed it. Since the day we met, it had been my way of communicating to her, I'm here, I want to see you. While I suppose there's only one way to find out if she's still out there listening for me. As a precaution, I spin about checking for onlookers, but this corner of the beach is deserted. So reaching to the recesses of my mind for the ancient spell, I plucked out its melody, note by note, and whispered my request to the shell at my fingertips. White of the waves, my bottomless heart be an ocean of love, built just for thee. And if thou art astray in a faraway foam, the song of my sea will call you home. As the conch begins to gleam, I gather my breath and blow gently into its tip. Free, free, free. I don't know. Like it's a free kind of sound, foo. But no matter how many times I call, Kia doesn't appear. The waves simply keep rolling over the sand at my feet, slowly soaking in, causing me to sink. So she left in search of somewhere better, after all. No Baba and no Kia, this truly was shaping up to be a pretty miserable summer, and the pang of pain I feel in my chest is sudden, but not expected. Unexpected. 3 years ago, when I said goodbye and left Lynnsdale, I didn't know it would be the last time. I didn't get the chance to tell her. Somewhat sad, my shoulders droop a little. She always was so timid and sure of herself. I wonder if she waited every summer for me to come back, and I never did. But never wanted to let sadness get the better of me for long. I clapped my cheeks together. At the very least, I know that right now what I can do is see her off with a smile. I'm sorry, Kia, but I hope wherever you are, you're swimming happy, and that your drawings don't suck anymore. After exhaling my feelings cathartically into the afternoon air, I turn heel and head back towards the stairs. It's time to open the cafe for the evening. But as my head swims with thoughts of coffee beans, recipes, and measurements, I forget to check for obstacles in my path, and before I know it, I collide with someone else. A beautiful woman. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please excuse me, because I'm excusing myself. I might end this episode right here. Which what you will think. No, I'm not. Let me just breathe a little bit. Okay, let's go. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Please excuse me. Oh, the bump has successfully knocked me down a stair or two, but as I shake off the pain, her eyes meet mine. Her golden irises, her amethyst hair, everything about her beauty is dazzling, and it temporarily catches me off guard. Phew, I'm grateful she seems unharmed. I run my fingers through my hair, somewhat embarrassed. Not at all. I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention either. Are you alright? Yes. Her quiet voice quickly trails off, but she continues to stare at me with great intensity, looking me up and down with wide eyes. Ah, that's right, the cafe. I don't have time to be wasting time here. So I flash her a polite smile and shooting back up the hill excuse myself. Well, I'm sorry again. Have a nice evening. Whew. 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 Large and leaping strides bring me back to the cusp of the hill in record time, with the afternoon sky already fading into an orange glow. Evening is practically here. I have no concrete grasp of how long Baba's Cafe has been closed since she cut and run. But there's one thing I know for certain. That's that I don't want to keep the Lynnsdale patrons waiting any longer. It's funny. If I let slip that Baba's irresponsibleness is what put me into this mess in the first place, I'm actually excited. If I had let it slip that, Baba's irresponsible, yeah, that should have been the sentence. Rushing about, serving special blends, putting smiles on customers' faces, it was difficult at first. Maybe, but I grew to love it. Positive vibes, Krista. Maybe this will be a good summer after all. With renewed energy, I begin to mentally roll up my sleeves. But just as I round the corner, an unpleasant sight makes my newly buoyed mood sink faster than a stone anchor. What the? Directly outside the cafe, pulled unceremoniously up into the curve, is a garish red sports car. It's brand new and clearly far too expensive to belong to any resident in Lynnsdale. Are you serious? What sort of self-centered idiot parks their car square in front of a shop entrance? Already ticked off, I watch as an elderly man with a cane struggles to shuffle through the gap in the pavement, grasping at the cafe wall for support. He gets his revenge as he passes by, though, flipping the bird to the car's tinted windows as he goes. You go, Grandpa. And if I had any doubts that this gaudy ride would spell trouble, they're blown away as soon as the driver steps outside. A tall blonde fop in sunglasses and a jean jacket slams the door behind himself, yawning loudly. Leaning back lazily into the car roof, he slips his sunglasses up into his hairline and clicks his tongue at the elderly man's back. I'm about to storm up and give him a piece of my mind when he pulls out his phone, the latest model, it looks like, and begins snapping up landscape shots of the cafe. May I help you? Sliding his free hand casually into his back pocket, he turns to flash me a smile. It's so not cute. Are you the owner? Am I? Because if I am, I'll be ending this video right here. If you want to see more of the game, play it. It's free to play on Steam. It's only, I believe, I don't even remember the file size, but it's not gonna reach like gigabytes of, size or file memory. It's not gonna eat up that much. But yeah, please feel free to subscribe to support this channel, and yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. I'll be seeing you maybe in a Being a Dick episode or another free-to-play Steam game video. Stay safe, everyone. God bless. Bye.